Hello and welcome, Global Studies class of 2017 now to 2018. Today I'm going to tell you about my Global Studies current event, and it's going to be about some relatively new but somewhat old technology that was revealed on TED Global just a few days ago, probably around a week ago, and I'm going to tell you all about it and its creator and what's happening with it. So let's get right to it. Today I'm telling y'all about this Nigerian who created a device that can detect explosives and cancer cells. His name is Oshi Agabi. Sorry if I messed up his name. But basically, he was a Nigerian startup founder that had created a device that he says can be used to detect the smell of explosive and cancer cells. And the device name is Koniku Core, and it's the first to fuse live neurons from mice stem cells into a silicon chip. And I'll go into the details about him, and I'll tell you all about it. Here's a picture of the Nigerian. By the way, this is Mr. Oshi Agabi right here, and here is the Koniku Core, and that's what he's going to use in order to detect explosives and cancer. Oshi Agabi, which is the dude that I've been telling you about, that I plan to tell you about, was at the TED Global, and he actually talked to CNN along with talking to TED Global. And on CNN, he has said that he explained either on CNN or TED Global, I can't think of it right now, but he said they had merged synthetic neurobiology with traditional silicon technology with the goal of fixing urgent real-world problems, meaning the fact that in order to get to a plane, you have to have ID, and even besides that, if you think about it, even with 9/11, how they had to check people for IDs and stuff and make sure that they're passengers and stuff, and how you could easily before 9/11, you would be able to, get in the car and you wouldn't have to arrive an hour early to the plane station. I think that's what it's called, but you could easily just get from your car and walk straight to the plane, and then you can get on. And that's sort of what he's trying to do, while also having it where you have to show your ID, but you can walk straight. All you have to do is show them your ID when you first walk in, and then walk straight to the plane, and they won't have to check you for explosives or anything, because the Koniku Core would be able to sniff it out or things of that nature. And again, as I was saying before, that with explosives, they have particles and smells that come off the individual or an individual. And with the device, the Koniku Core, he says, our device, you can tell without requiring line or sight of contact. You can scan them at the time at a place of your own choosing, and you can get into an aircraft and go about your business. And he basically says that the thing that plagues us not right now is security. And later on, while he's talking, it's also a device that can be used to sniff out illnesses the same way that dogs can detect cancer cells via the smells. And what he explained is, in the same way that the dog is able to detect if someone has prostate cancer, the real question that they asked, or that he says on the website, we ask is, how does a dog do it? We can clone that process on our chip. So yes, in the same way that a dog can detect diseases or explosives at an airport, it's a sensory system. That is essentially what we create in our chip. And that's what he says. Koniku actually means immortal in the Nigerian Yoruba language, and he actually started in 2015, and he had already raised $8 million in revenue according to what he said. And he said he believed quite strongly that it's going to be run with biological brains that are made with synthetic biological neurons. That is the declared intention of their company, and that's to build a brain. And that brain will be able to, in a way, act like a dog or something of that nature, to where it can basically sense and tell and alert people at the airport and things like that of the problem with, if people have like explosives, or if they want to have them sniff out this cancer cells instead of having to have it where you have to go through all the doctors and stuff. Not that that's a problem, but they can detect cancer. It can detect cancer faster than it would if it showed up through tests that doctors did, or tested on actually on digital trends on the tech, while they're discussing the Tech Global. And the way that he presented, it says that the Koniku Core was revealed publicly at Tech Global, but images of the prototype device couldn't be shared at the present time. So I'm guessing the pictures that I have from CNN were probably prototypes or maybe ideas. And they also have reports on BBC too, which I'll also cover. But basically, the device, like I said, could be used to smell different diseases in a medical context, reading the molecules given off by a person suffering from a particular condition. So basically what this does is it, in a way, smells, and it will be able to use the molecules from, it will be able to have a strong sense of smell and be able to tell the molecules to see if someone has a particular condition. And he says that he has greater ambitions for the potential the technology has looking further forward. And he said that he thinks that the process, he said, and I quote, "We think that the processing power that is going to run the robots of the future will be synthetic biology based, and we are laying the foundation for that today." And basically, that's just how he explained it. And he had, and it's just stuff like that where he basically like biology is technology, and that's what he strongly believes, and that's sort of what he's been running off of. And actually, a quote from BBC says, "While computers are better than humans at complex mathematical equations, there are many cognitive functions where the brain is much better. Training a computer to recognize smells will require colossal amounts of computational power and energy, for example." And Mr. Agabe is attempting to reverse engineer biology, which it already accomplishes this function with a fraction of the power it would take a silicon-based processor. Biology is technology, bio is text, he says. Our deep learning networks are all copying the brain. He launched his startup Koniku over a year ago and has raised, according to BBC, it's $1 million in funding, and claims that they're already making profits of $10 million in deals with the security industry, which means he actually is making around the $8 million that he said, or it's something around there. And it is basically what he says is you can give the neurons instructions about what to do, and in their case they will tell it to provide a receptor that can detect explosives. And he said he envisages a future where such devices can be discreetly used at various points at airports, eliminating the need for quays to get through airport security, as well as being used for bomb detection. It could be used to detect the molecules that the patient is giving off based off of their based off of the molecules around them. And the prototype device shown off at TED has partially solved one of the biggest challenges of harnessing biological systems, keeping the neurons alive. And basically, with the neurons, usually it says this device can live on a desk and we can keep them alive for a couple of months. But ultimately, I've read that they found a way to make it where if you kept it there, it could range from 2 months to probably around 6 to a year. And he says, although that is how it works, with the neurons. He has much bigger ambitions, and that he says that they are like us. But basically, that sums up what the presentation was essentially about. You know, you have big discussions on the internet that are basically talking about it, and I know that it's a lot to go through and process, and that there's a lot of info. And sadly, I couldn't get enough pictures because there aren't really enough pictures of him for me to be able to show. But I have a few of the pictures. And I also think that it would be better for me to show maybe around a 4-minute video. There's going to be a 4-minute video. Actually, it's like 4 minute and 15-second video at the end of this video that I'll show, and basically that will give you an idea of what the Koniku is and what it's gonna do. And the only thing is that, you know, it's still in development, so I can't show you a lot of pictures of it, and the picture that I got from CNN could just be what they think it will look like, and it isn't necessarily a guarantee. So sorry if there isn't enough pictures, but I will show y'all a video, and it will be right here, and I'll leave a link in the description of the YouTube video that I'll show. And here's the video, and once the video is done, ask me your questions. And something to think about before you go: do you think that this will be helpful in the future? And do you think people will still be able to get on the plane without having to go through all the checks and processes? And if this is a good thing, or do you think this will ultimately not work because of the neurons being only in the technology for 2 months currently? And do you think that maybe it's a really long stretch? And do you think that people will be able to bypass it? So let me know your questions. That's just something to think about. And thanks for watching.